Live number 2. Yesterday we didn't get anybody while we were on the stream. Can you hear me? Is my mic on? Doesn't look like it's picking it up. I mean, it's talk louder. Yeah, nobody watched yesterday, but overnight there was a lot of, to me, it's a lot of people, about 2,000 people have seen that. Parts of it anyway, that Jim Dore reaction to his speech. So we're going to do Roger Waters today. I don't think he was actually present in D.C., and this is not it right here. This is his interview with CNN. I just wanted to go through it really fast in case, you maybe didn't hear it. Let's see what he says here to this CNN twat.
And that begins the show. If you're one of those, I love Pink Floyd, but I can't stand Roger's politics, people, you might do well to off to the bar. You might do well to F off to the bar at the outset of the show? Yeah. Because it's a really good way to start the show. Apart from anything else, it sets a few things straight. Namely? Also it encourages a lot of the people who have come to the show, because they have listened to everything I've written since, 1965 or whenever I started.
Can somebody tell me
so they do know what
if
my
this is
politics
backwards?
Are, they do understand
like
what
on
my
the
heart
stream.
is, and they understand sort of why I'm there. But maybe it also gives a message to people who don't want to be there, in which case them effing off to the bar is probably not a bad idea. Except that you never know, those people, if they sit in a community like my audience is on these shows of This Is Not a Drill on this tour, there is such a great feeling of communication in that room between me and the audience, and between us combined with all our brothers and sisters all over the rest of the world, irrespective of who they are, where they live, their ethnicity, their religion, their nationality, or anything else. Because
music don't discriminate.
Has a message. It is that
music can heal the world.
One with the other. To the guy who says, "Shut the F up, play the hits." Do you want him, as long as he doesn't shout it out, do you want him in the arena? I don't not want him there, as long as he doesn't annoy the people who do understand what's going on in the arena. I'm happy for him. But I'm saying, do I have to buy in? Does a person in the crowd have to buy in to the message? I've always loved the music. Right. Some of the messages I can buy into, and some I can't. I've only got one message. Too strange.
So you think if you saw that at the beginning, it would make you mad? You're there for the concert. You're not there for a speech. But the problem is the left wants to inject politics into everything. Every single facet of your life needs to be, ran by some sort of political ideology. Or let's keep going.
Just passing in the street, by chance two passing glances meet, and I am you, and what I see is me. That is my message. And that was on Medal, which was in 1970. And basically, my message hasn't changed. I recognize your humanity, but I recognize all the Russians and the Chinese and the Ukrainians and the Yemenis and the Palestinians. Are you an equal opportunity offender on this tour? Here's why I ask. I remember the last tour. Of course, I came and watched.
If you're not equal opportunity offender,
about Trump. And
you're being
in the current
maybe
show, you've got a montage of war criminals, according to you, and a picture apparently of President Biden on the screen, and it says, "Just getting started." What's that all about? President Joe Biden? Yeah. Well, he's fueling the fire in the Ukraine for a start. That is a huge crime. Why won't the United States of America encourage Zelensky, the president, to negotiate, obviating the need for this horrific,
making so much money off building these tanks and bombs and sending them over there. It's just a money printing machine.
Come on, you've got it reversed. No, well, that's, any war, when did it start? What you need to do is look at the history, and you can say, well, it started on this day. You could say it started in 2008. Okay, it's basic. This war is basically about the action and reaction of NATO pushing right up to the Russian border, which they promised they wouldn't do when Gorbachev negotiated the withdrawal.
This is the thing that everybody's forgetting about right now.
From the whole of Eastern Europe.
When you say this, then I have to say, what about our role as liberators? You of all people,
You have no role as liberators.
World War II. World War II.
You got into World War II because
Come
it's
on.
Pearl Harbor.
Oh,
You were
dude, bringing his dad up.
Into that sad, that devastating.
I would argue we
awful
were
day
always going to get in, and that
1941.
pushed us in. But thank God the United States got in, right? You
Well,
lost your father in World War II. Thank God.
Well, I
the
can't
United
believe he
States
did that.
Right?
I cannot
The
believe
Russians
this
had already
jackass
won
said
the
that.
bloody war almost by then. Don't forget, 23 million Russians died protecting you and me from the Nazi menace.
It's a lot of
And
Russians.
you would think the Russians would have learned their lesson from war and wouldn't have invaded Ukraine.
Well, you,
Fair?
with all your reading, I would suggest to you, Michael, that you go away and read a bit more and then try and figure out what the United States would do if the Chinese were putting nuclear-armed missiles into Mexico and Canada.
The Chinese are too busy encircling Taiwan as we speak.
That's not
They're
true.
not
They're
encircling
building infrastructure
Taiwan.
all
Taiwan
over the
is
fucking
part
planet.
of China, and
Oh.
that's been absolutely
I'm not mad at
accepted
China.
by
My
the
wife
whole
is
of the
Chinese.
international
Not mad about that.
community since 1948. And if you don't know that, you're not reading enough. Go and read about it.
Okay. Did we solve anything here
This
tonight?
is no. Well, yeah, we did. I mean, no, we didn't.
I mean,
because you're believing your propaganda, your side's propaganda.
You're defining
But
it as
Taiwan, you can't have a conversation about human rights, and you can't have a conversation.
Obama signed an
about
executive
Taiwan
order that made it
without
legal for the Americans to be
Roger,
propagandized.
if you're
It
having
didn't
a
used to be
conversation
legal.
about human rights, at the top of the list of offenders are the Chinese. Why is it always the Western world? Why is it
The
always
Chinese
the Western
didn't
world?
invade Iraq and kill 1 million people in 2003. In fact, as far as I can recall, hang on a minute, who have the Chinese invaded and murdered, slaughtered? In
Their own
bollocks.
Okay.
That's absolute nonsense.
Well,
Complete nonsense.
it's not complete nonsense. There is an active going on. All right, here, let's see what he says about this rally.
Oh! I have to shout because I'm in Switzerland. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you,
When I
buddy.
was a young man, my mother once told me this. Roger, throughout your life, you will be faced with many difficult questions and quandaries. My advice to you, when you are, is this. Read, read, read. Listen to all sides of the argument, especially from those you don't always agree with. Research thoroughly. When you have, you will have done the heavy lifting. The next bit is easy.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the next bit, Mum? Then you just do the right thing. The invasion of Ukraine by the Russian Federation was illegal. I condemn it in the strongest possible terms. Also, the Russian invasion of Ukraine was not unprovoked. So I also condemn the provocateurs in the strongest possible terms. So, on behalf of the silent majority, I now address President Biden. Let us be very
Couldn't
clear.
be silent anymore. Can't be silent.
I speak for the
They're pushing it too
voiceless
far.
majority. You and Anthony Blinken, and Victoria Newland, and Jake Sullivan, and the rest of the warmongering neocons at the heart of government here in Washington, along with the vassal states in NATO, are the principal provocateurs that I mentioned. I am not apologizing for Mr. Putin, you understand, but just a glance fleetingly back at the history of the last 30 years or so. You.
I forget the name of the artist, but that's just what he just said there. It reminds me of this song lyrics. It says, there's three sides to the truth. Yours and mine and the goddamn truth, girl. People have forgotten, most everybody in the West has forgotten that there are two sides to the story, not just our side or the side that we're being fed.
Could have done better. You could have followed President Gorbachev's lead in 1989.
Tear down that wall.
You could have kept Secretary of State Baker's promise not to advance NATO 1 yard closer to the Russian border than the eastern extremities of a reunited Germany. You could have responded to President Putin's overtures in his famous 10th of February 2007 speech at the Security Conference in Munich, and shepherded us all towards a much, much safer Europe.
I think he said shepherded us to shepherd, to move.
Or, in 2008, you could have chosen not to expand NATO eastwards. Or, in 2014, you could have refrained from engineering the illegal Maidan coup d'etat in Ukraine. Or, in 2019, you could have supported the Minsk Accords. Now we're told by Angela Merkel they were just a ruse to buy time to arm Ukraine for the war that you were engineering. But they were also
all the wars have been engineered.
The platform that President Zelensky ran on during his presidential campaign. Well, you fooled me, President Zelensky. I thought you meant all that stuff about ending the civil war in the Donbass and giving Russia, your neighbor, some security assurances. I thought you were coming to your senses. Not a bit of it. In 2022, February, March, and April, you could have told Boris Johnson not to fly to Kiev to scupper the peace negotiations, but you chose not to. And then, in September,
it's a whole lot of things that could have stopped it.
To world-renowned
investigative didn't get stopped because
Seymour Hersh, you blew
military-industrial complex.
Pipeline. If that turns out,
the ones that
a blatant
got rid of Big T,
an extreme act of global terrorism. Releasing
it was in that Time magazine article. Fortified the elections.
Over the Baltic Sea.
Military-industrial complex.
First, you, Mr. President.
Sorry, I don't mean to speak over you, Mr. Waters. I can pause you that way I'm not interrupting. Now I've forgotten what I was going to say. Shit. Oh yeah, Trump. Trump was really trying to get all the troops out of Syria, and he told them pull them all out. And then the State Department or the DOD, I'm not sure who it is. I'll have to somebody fact check me on that. They lied to him and told him like basically everybody was gone. There was just a few people left over, and they're like, yeah, we're out of Syria. When in reality we were not at all. And when Trump made that decision, that's when the deep state decided that he had to get out. They wasn't going to let him get full 8 years. He's too much against him. That or the next step is to Kennedy him.
Boasted openly about your intention and ability to do it. And then recently, Victoria Newland boasts about how pleased she is that it's a, quote, lump of junk at the bottom of the sea.
Disgusting.
And Anthony Blinken boasts perfectly its destruction suits the US imperial agenda.
Yeah, that way we get to sell that natural
Now,
gas.
To cap it all off, you have your idiot mouthpiece, Nick Price, deny that the USA had anything to do with it. We have heard no statement from you, Mr. President. There is no mainstream media coverage. I guess you and the mainstream media think Cy Hirsch's piece and mysterious exploding pipeline is just of no interest to the people. Enough is enough. We demand change. Do the right thing. Implement a ceasefire in Ukraine today. Imagine the collective sigh of relief across the globe. The outpouring of joy, the international joining of voices in harmony, singing an anthem to peace. Imagine John Lennon pumping the air with his fist from beyond the grave. You have finally been heard in the corridors of power.
Dude.
The big, dumb bullies in the schoolyard have agreed to stop playing nuclear chicken. We're not all going to die in a nuclear holocaust after all. At least, not today. Together, we the people can persuade the powers that be to drop the model of perpetual war as their accepted modus operandi. With the power of love, we will stop them from squandering our precious resources on their wars. We will be able to feed our children and keep them sheltered from the storm. We may even learn
Do you have kids?
to cooperate with all our brothers and sisters of different.
Do you have kids? Are they under 18 years old? Are you voting Democrat? With all this gender ideology and equality. Do you have daughters? Or your daughters to have to sign up for a draft and then be drafted with all this, this establishment nonsense? That's where it's headed. My dad joined the Navy during the draft because he didn't want to have to be drafted. But that time is coming back, and if we don't change it, we can change it. We have to be voting for independence and libertarians, America first people. That's it. That's the only way we can get out of it. You have to put aside your feelings for a little bit.
Different ethnicities, religions, and nationalities, and save this, our beautiful planet home, from destruction. Wouldn't that be nice?
Roger Waters.
Whenever you go against the establishment narrative.
All right, so that's that. That's the Roger Waters speech for the Rage Against the War Machine rally over the weekend. He obviously wasn't there, but he sent something in to be played. It's really powerful stuff, I think. Anyway, that's that. Hopefully y'all like this one too. I don't really know what to look at. Just tell me, I guess I can look at it myself after this video posts. I'm just curious if all this shit is backwards. Backwards like the world that we're living in today. Where's my mouse? Thanks for watching Toddy's World. That's going to be it for this live stream. Like, subscribe, comment. And I'm open to any and all suggestions, as I'm a newbie YouTuber. Not really. I just kind of try to help wake people up and let people know, what the third side of the story. That's the truth side. All right, y'all. Have a good day. God bless you. And like I said, do the right thing. Roger Waters. Do the right thing. Tony's World out.